In the noisy, ever-vibrating town of Bukasa, nothing ever stayed quiet, not even the dust. The chickens argued with the dogs barked at the goats, and the goats stared back as if daring everyone to challenge their authority. In the middle of all this noisy confidence stood a tired two-story building called Kimuli Residence, a place that looked like it had survived several wars, even though the worst things it had experienced were overdue rent and unnecessary tenant drama. The paint on the walls peeled like a healing wound, the staircase groaned every time someone stepped on it, and the roof had a questionable wobble whenever rain clouds gathered. But, for reasons known only to fate, the building was always full. Maybe because the rent was affordable, maybe because the landlord feared increasing it, or maybe because the tenants enjoyed watching his blood pressure rise. The landlord, Mr. Ndula, was a man built like a very determined pumpkin round, firm, and always sweating for no reason. He believed landlords should dress with authority, so he wore the same faded black coat every day, even when the sun tried to roast the entire town. His bald head shone like polished marble, and whenever the sun hit it, children used it as a natural reflector for their games. Each morning he drank his tea strong bitter, and brewed to match the bitterness in his soul, and assured himself that this month would be the month his tenants paid on time. Every month he said the same thing. Every month he died a little inside. The residents of Kimuli were not ordinary people. They were a carefully selected collection of comedians sent to tormente one man. There was Bueno, the bodo rider whose mouth worked faster than his motorcycle. He believed he was a philosopher, though most of his philosophies only made sense to very tired people. He lived on the ground floor, but behaved like the compound was his ancestral land. Next was Aunt Benna, a gossip queen, whose information traveled faster than Wi-Fi. If you sneezed, she somehow knew whether it was dust, flu, or heartbreak. Across from her lived Patricia, a cheerful single mother with a laugh that could end wars. She smiled even when life slapped her. The problem was that she liked using life as an excuse for everything, including unpaid rent. Upstairs lived Derek the barber, who walked like a man permanently, followed by an imaginary camera crew. He believed he was irresistible. He wasn't, but his confidence made him unforgettable. And then there was Brenda, the prayer warrior who blessed everyone without warning. If you annoyed her, she prayed for you. If you greeted her, she prayed harder. If you tried to pass by quietly, she still prayed you couldn't escape. With a building full of such personalities, collecting rent felt like fighting spiritual, emotional, and psychological warfare all at once. On the first day of the month, Andola woke up earlier than usual. The sun had barely stretched its golden fingers across Bukasa, and the mist still hovered above the ground like confused ghosts. Today, he told himself, he would start collecting rent before the tenants organized their stories. He marched into the compound with a sense of purpose that lasted exactly 6 seconds until Bino zoomed in on his motorcycle, braked loudly, and shouted, "Landlord? What happened? You look like someone who has just been disappointed by life." Indola closed his eyes. This boy will shorten my days. Before he could respond, Aunt Benna emerged from her doorway, as if she had been eavesdropping from dawn. "Landlord," she exclaimed dramatically, "why are you walking like someone who slept badly? Or is it rent tension stressing you?" Patricia, who was sweeping nearby, burst into laughter. "Landlord, you came too early," she said. "Even the sun is still brushing its teeth." He ignored them and pointed at Patricia. "Madame, today you must pay." She paused, held her broom like a microphone, and announced, "Landlord, the thing is very simple, but also complicated. You see, life happened." "What is life?" "Life is life," she answered proudly. Before he could argue, Derek swaggered down the staircase, combing his hair for no reason. "Landlord, my guy," he declared. "You're shining today. Baldness looks expensive on you. Where's your rent?" Davila snapped Derek's side as if the world had wronged him. "Women problems? What do women have to do with rent?" "Everything," he said, shaking his head like a wise elder. As if on cue, Brenda stepped out, holding her Bible. Without warning, she placed a hand on Endawala's shoulder. "You look stressed. Let me pray for you." Madame, please." Too late. She began praying loudly, passionately, with increasing fire. The other tenants gathered like an audience, whispering commentary. When Brenda switched to speaking in tongues, Indula panicked. He slowly stepped away from her, inch by inch, until he finally escaped her holy grip. The moment he reached the gate, he ran. He didn't care about dignity. He didn't care about authority. He didn't care about anything except getting far away from these people who were shortening his lifespan. And thus, his attempt at rent collection ended in under 10 minutes. By 8 a.m., the landlord had already given up on the entire month.